Hello students, welcome to my class. As we have already begun chapter 10 geography, disaster management, and I think some parts I have already discussed with you. I think you have understood that whenever you find that any of the suppose disaster that is going to occur, either in the form of floods or earthquake or the human-made disasters such as nuclear disasters or maybe fire-related disaster or chemical or maybe biological disaster. So now you have already got some idea that how you have taken the precautions when the incidents will be occurring. So these are the few things that you need to make very much like important, especially you make a drill and you practice, and you know the important needs you need to arrange and keep in your home. And for example, suppose a drought is occurring or flood is occurring or any other like a human-made disaster is happening, then you know you at the same time you need to help the other also. And you can protect them from these incidents. So let us today, we will not discuss about the biological or this chemical or nuclear, but today we will talk about the some of the important that is portion, especially how this human-made disasters also are there, which is also part of the disasters. So let's see here. The number one, we have seen so fast oil spill. You know, you have seen that most of the time the crude oil or oil is actually transported from one country to another country through the sea route. If it is brought by aeroplane, it is different case, but it is brought by the ship. And when it is brought by the ship, you know, sometimes in the ship, some of the times you have seen that either it is in the cyclone or the different that natural calamities occurring in the ocean. Sometimes you know the especially the big chunk of this oil and all is shaken, and you know certain amount of oils are actually spilling down in the river or in the ocean. So the water in fact gets diluted, the water in fact is becoming the actually contaminated. So therefore all this situation is also occurring when there is a oil is spilling in the water. Second one, we have seen the terrorist attack. Now so far today this world, you know, the world is actually full of weaponry systems. Everyone is using their advanced technologies, and you know these advanced technologies actually creating, inventing new machines and new like devices through which you are able to attack the country, you are able to attack the society, and this way the things are actually happening in the world. So terrorist attack also one of the attack or the disasters we can say, where the human life is actually losing its extinct. So therefore I think we need to also see that these are also the part of the disaster. Next we have got aeroplane crash. I think the recent times you have already seen many aeroplane crash has been occurred due to the technical fault in the aeroplane, or maybe the lack of resources, lack of knowledge, lack of the systematic making of the airplane, or maybe many other features that is needed for the weather to understand how you go about. So these are the things also is taking place. So that is also part of the disaster that we have seen. Next we have the train collision. This train collision is very much common in earlier days, but even today also we find here and there is taking place. But you know here also you can see that a big damage is taking place, human life as well as the property, especially the train. And you know at the same times the neighbor or any who are not connected with that, even they are also getting hurt out of that. Okay, so that is we can find. Then another is a capsizing of a ship or a boat or some other types of human-made disasters also taking place. So keeping all this in mind, now you know the things are actually happening worse and worse day by day when the things are not taken care, when there is not things are prevented. So the government actually, the different governments should come out, different countries' opinion should be gathered together, and then it should be prevented such kind of like activity before happening. Okay, so you can see here, especially when we were talking about the oil spill. When an incident happened, for example, the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, that is in the 1979, okay, is an example of oil spill related disaster that has been taking place. Then another example, the terrorist attack in Mumbai, that is a local train on 26 July 2006, is an example of terrorism related disaster. And also the sinking of Titanic is an also example of the travel related disaster. So these are the examples that we can forecast for. There are also many other examples we can find in the history as well as in the past few decades. Okay, now how we can develop, or how we can manage if any type of like a disaster is occurring. So which are the people needed to given importance, and which are the precautions or the measure we need to take, and which are the people should be involved in this to manage the disaster. So let us discuss now. So let's see now here. We know that disasters are occurring in the nature or in the country. It is sometimes without warning it is actually occurring. All on a sudden, any kind of like a accident is happening. All on a sudden, suppose there is a kind of like a leakage has been taking place. All on a sudden, suppose anything also happening. So now, disaster management, when we discuss about it, so we get it here how that any of the accident or incident is not giving any sort of warning that it is going to happen right now. So we don't get the information, and before that only the disaster is taking place. Okay, so therefore, here disaster management means the state of preparedness taken for the safety and protection of life and property from natural or human-made disasters. So this means being prepared for disasters, fighting disasters effectively, ensuring the safety of life during the disasters, and then and helping in a rebuilding society after the disaster. So you have seen a country like Japan, a big number of like people made in big accidents, especially when we talk about the nuclear bomb was actually dropped there, and how this Hiroshima and Nagasaki was actually destroyed completely. And even today here you can find that people are still suffering due to that effectiveness of the nuclear bomb. So therefore it takes a long time. So once the disaster is taking place, people should be encouraged, people should be taken care by the different agencies or the government as well. So we can see these things should be happening there. So now how we can manage. So here we will see that different roles are played by the different rulers. So role of the individuals and a community, let's see what role they have to play. Now for example, individuals and a community, what the responsibility they have got. For example, they should provide food, clothing, shelter, medicines and other items of necessity to the victims. These are the role needed to play each community or individuals. Then as a building shelters is a time consuming process. So school, panchayat, ghars and other community buildings should be used as a temporary shelters. Okay, and community kitchens should provide food to the victims, and makeshift hospitals should be set up to provide proper healthcare facilities. So these are also part of that. Next we have got role of the government and non-government agencies, what they can do for the people who are affected. Now we have seen that people get a good amount of help from government and non-government agencies whenever a disaster occurs. So the rescue work is carried out mainly by the Army, Air Force, Navy, Police, fighting services, health departments and municipalities. So these are the major people are actually there, and also municipal corporations. Now apart from that, people also get help from many NGOs and agencies like a Red Cross, WHO and a UNICEF. So these are also part of the agencies who are actually supporting the people. So now these are all this that we find that disasters to be handled whenever there is a occurring. Therefore, now we have to understand that role of individuals, then the community, and role of the government, non-governments, agencies, and as a whole world, how it is coming. That is the Red Cross, WHO, and UNICEF. So these are all departments are there to support any of the suppose emergency, any of the help or assistance needed during the or after the disasters. Okay, so this is things we have to complete. So with this chapter, we are completing the our chapter 10, disaster management. So hope you understood, and please you read through this particular part. And it's a very interesting chapter, very informative chapters. In fact, it is giving us a lot of information. So when you read more, you will get a better understanding and a better information as well. And you also can be safe yourself whenever there will be a disaster in the future. So okay. So see you in my next class. So thank you.